Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And I can't believe I'm actually reviewing this movie. But then, initially I thought I wouldn't do these superhero movies, especially the big ones. But then, I just want to share my thoughts about it. And I'm rewatching as many as I can at the moment. So let's go to the one that started out the MCU, the big, the one that set the ball rolling, Iron Man, 2008. And I can remember when they announced the fact that he's going to play Iron Man. I had like maybe a minute of like Iron Man, and then I realized it's because I never used to read the comics. I mean, I knew several of them, but like I think after when I was like 11, I kind of stopped reading I wasn't getting any of the Marvel comics anyway, Marvel or DC for that matter. But of course, I knew who Iron Man was. I knew the Avengers, all of those. But so when I realized that they're making this and that Robert Downey Jr. is going to play Tony Stark Iron Man, I thought good for him because I know he's had a tough time, and I really liked him in the things that I've actually seen before that. So a couple of movies here and there. So I thought why not? Directed by Jon Favreau. You've got, like I mentioned, Tony Stark, aka Robert Downey Jr. You've got Jeff Bridges, who plays the villain, Terrence Howard, who plays Rhodey, Gwyneth Paltrow, Leslie Bibb, and Sean Dahl. And there's also, what's that guy's name? Sean Dahl plays Ho Yinsen, the fellow captive, but there's also Farhan Tahir, who plays Raza, the leader of the Ten Rings. Paul Bettany, of course, voices Jarvis, and later on will become Vision. Clark Gregg appears briefly as Phil Coulson. Like I said, Jon Favreau plays Happy Hogan, who's Stark's really close friend, bodyguard, and chauffeur. Samuel L. Jackson plays Nick Fury, but he's got just a cameo at the end, the post credits. You also have Stan Lee. Anybody else? Tom Morello, who plays a terrorist guard, and that's about it. I did recognize him this time. Yeah, so what can I say? This is the one that amazing. I mean, RDJ was meant to play Tony Stark and Iron Man. I mean, there's nothing to it. The first set of superheroes in the MCU, they were born to play these roles. It's actually kind of nice to see them having the kind of success. Like I don't know I barely knew Chris Evans, and I barely knew I think I'd only known Chris Hemsworth in that small role that he had as Captain Kirk's dad in the 2009 reboot Star Trek movie. And I knew Mark Ruffalo a little bit, but that's it. So yeah, but Robert Downey Jr. was the one who I knew a lot more about, and yeah, he did excellently. So yeah, he gets captured. His convoy is ambushed in a war-torn Afghanistan. He's there for presenting some arms to the U.S. Army base there, and then he's captured. His convoy is destroyed. He's the only one who's left alive. Yinsen, who's a fellow captive and doctor, implants his electromagnet into his chest to keep the shrapnel that will, if not, they would actually go into his heart and kill him. So the leader of the terrorist group, Ten Rings leader Raza, he offers Stark freedom in exchange for building him a Jericho missile for the group. Of course, terrorists don't keep their words, so normally, so he and Jensen come up with this plan of pretending to work on it. They create the arc reactor, and they get a prototype suit made of metal. It's it's got a lot of it's basically a very powerful armor, and unfortunately Jensen is killed. He manages to beat up a lot of the Tony Stark managed to beat up a lot of the terrorists, and then he leaves. And he goes back home, wants a burger, and then find out that what is his name? Obadiah Stane. What a name for a villainous character. His father's old partner, and who's kind of like a mentor to Tony. He is the one who is actually behind all this. He is selling weapons to the terrorists as well, and then they have a shootout where basically he takes part of Tony Stark's original suit, and makes this huge thing. They've got a separate name for it, and I'm trying to find out what it is. Uh, what is it? Jaipur. I don't know. There's a name for the character. I mean, the suit kind of thing. Anyway, so that's huge, and that's a very big one. It's overpowering Iron Man. Oh yeah. By the way, Stark devotes a lot of his time to create a better suit with the one that we know, or at least the first version of the one that we know, where he can fly, he can do a lot of things and attack, um, defend himself, do a lot of things, like help people as well. And that's what he wants to do now, because Yinsen's death um, made him realize, because he sacrificed himself to give Tony some time, and he, it's basically he wants he wants to save people now. So that he gets a thing. He manages to get save Pepper Potts as well. She's a very good option for Pepper Potts. I must say, Gwyneth Paltrow, and using her help, he managed to overload the large arc reactor which is powering the building, and that causes a huge electrical surge that destroys Stain, and he dies. And of course, all superheroes want to keep their identity, safe and away from the crowd. But except for maybe like Steve Rogers, because everybody knew already that he was Captain America. So they ask him, is he Iron Man? And he's supposed to say no, but he says, I am Iron Man. And of course, to the end of it, you see Nick Fury coming in, meeting Stark at home, and telling him that he is not really a superhero, and he wants to discuss something called as the Avengers Initiative. So that's the entire story. Brilliant performance by Robert Downey Jr. Terrence Howard as James Rhodey Rhodes. Later on it will become another actor who actually takes it up. But I actually do not like Terrence Howard's. I think his acting was a little off for me, but Don Cheadle is way better, I believe, and he and RDJ just seem to have that kind of like chemistry as longtime friends do. So I guess I think it was a good choice that this guy was a jerk, and then they decided to fire him. I did not like excuse me. I did not like Obadiah Stane's. Jeff Bridges is talking when he becomes the villain in that suit. I think maybe he had to compensate for the fact maybe that's kind of loud. He also shaved his head for the role, and he grew his beard a little bit. So yeah, it's a pretty awesome film. Oh yeah, Leslie Bibb is in it, as well as Christine Everhart, who was a reporter for Vanity Fair. And yeah, that's basically about it for one of the best movies in the MCU franchise. Definitely the best Iron Man movie, if I should say so. Myself, I really do like the movie quite a lot. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Really worth watching multiple times. So that's it for me for Iron Man. And we'll come up with another movie maybe pretty soon. Take care.